The United States host Mexico in a World Cup qualifier happening this weekend in Columbus, Ohio. And before we get into the talk about it, so Dos a Cero is what it's being called. That is the nickname for it because the last the last 4 games that the United States have played in Columbus against Mexico has ended 2-0 to the United States. They actually make it like a tradition. They actually have beers. Dos a Cero, is that what it's called?
Right.
So they actually have beers that are coming out that are actually like to celebrate this. Now, before we get into the actual football part, we need to address the massive orange elephant that's going to be in the room. The fact that Donald Trump has been elected president of the United States is going to cause some tension. So there's been a lot of articles coming around. I actually really like Grant Wall's writing for Sports Illustrated.
Fantastic writer.
And he talked about how this is someone who has continuously looked to vilify Mexicans in this country. So yes, there's going to be added tension in this game. Yes, there's going to be idiots that are going to go there and look to try and vocalize their political opinion on, like, when it comes to the football game. Now, you can vocalize your political opinion. It's your right. You can do it. There's no problem in doing it. But doing it inside the venue that takes away from the game at hand, I'm not going to sit here and say that that's okay. Like, especially because I think what it will lead to is within 5 to 10 minutes of that happening, it'll lead to interaction, it'll lead to violence, and it'll probably lead to the US fans singing "Build a Wall" and the Mexico fans singing "Puto" towards the US fans.
Hold on. Let's try not to generalize all the US fans into one category and not try to generalize all the Mexican fans.
No, I'm saying that would be the worst case scenario.
That's like the worst case scenario, yes. So for the most part, I don't think there will be as much of a turnout for the Mexican fan base compared to the Rose Bowl in California.
No.
Because when it happens there, it's 95% Mexican fans. Mexico fans. Undoubtedly. Like, we were there. We had a tiny section. I'm saying we. You don't even get to be included. I had a tiny section. Tiny, like a sliver, and it's like the U.S. or whatever they call it, like the MNT Army, and they're going crazy with their Uncle Sam hats on, and then there's like all the Mexican fans, and you're like, gee, I keep saying I'm sorry, and all the Mexico fans that are like real fans showering each other in beer when they score, and Chicharito is God, and all that stuff. So here's my hope, right? For one, Ohio was a swing state, is always a swing state when it comes to elections. So there is a split. A very big split, and our country is very, very much, unfortunately, divided. It's probably never been more divided. I think that's very, very evident, at least from what I have seen and learned and understand about those who live on the coast and those who live in the middle of the country. On top of that, I think what Michael Bradley had to say for the U.S. men's national team is what I would hope for. And his quotes were these, which follow. I would hope our fans do what they always do, which is support our team in the best, most passionate way possible. I would hope they give every person in that stadium the respect they deserve, whether they are American, Mexican, neutral, men, women, or children. He continues to say, I hope every person that comes to the stadium comes ready to enjoy what we all want to be a beautiful game between two sporting rivals that have a lot of respect for each other, and hope that it's a special night in every way. I hope people listen to Michael Bradley, but I know that most people aren't opening the Washington Post and going, Michael Bradley wants me to do that. I think actually maybe 1 out of every 200 people will read Michael Bradley's quotes and understand his message. I also understand that, unfortunately, not everybody is of sane, calm mind. And when things get tense just in the sporting sense, it usually escalates. So my hope, and I really, really do, but I am far too optimistic of a person, is that there won't be disgusting signs of what is going to happen. Or I'm sorry, disgusting signs of what is currently happening. So I don't know what to expect. I don't want to brace for the worst, but knowing what we know here and what is going on, you can't turn a blind eye to it. It's going to be seen as, unfortunately, an opportunity. Not good. And the U.S. needs to win. For like the footballing purposes, to get back on the sports track of it.
One of the things that actually was stated later in the article, which I liked, is he referenced a quote that was like, for every one of these bad experiences, we need about 20 more to make up the positive. So, I think that it's going to be, there is going to be idiots that will use it. I'm not going to be that optimistic to think that people will use it as a way to vocalize their opinion. And there's going to be others that are going to be using it to try and voice an opinion, such as we've seen in New York and Los Angeles, all over the country at the moment, to protest what they feel is an injustice.
Which is
so
ridiculous, by the way.
Sporting instances are often used nowadays as a way to protest something that you believe in. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's not a good thing, because what Colin Kaepernick did for, I think, the treatment of black people in this country and bringing light to something that really should have been addressed was fantastic. The awareness that it created was second to none. I don't think you will get another powerful messages like that to go back on for the last 5 to 10 years that will go down in history as a monumental moment where someone used their platform in a way to vocalize what they believed. So people will look to that and be like, well, you know what? I'm going to go to this football game and I'm going to do the exact same thing that Kaepernick did, because he did it and it provided a message. But whilst I'm going to celebrate anyone who wants to try and protest something in a peaceful manner and not cause any concern, at this situation, this soon after it, I just worry that it might lead to something that's going to end up escalating. It might lead to, especially if this was in Los Angeles, I think I'd be a little bit easier. I think I'd be like, it's Los Angeles, we're naturally a more democratic state. I think people will be more willing. It doesn't really matter if it's Republicans or Democrats. I just think that it's a more open environment, whereas you go to somewhere where in the past it's been hostile. When you look at it being in Ohio, it's more likely that you see a little bit more of a butting heads, let's say, between these two fans. So I think as we keep it more to do with the football, and if you want to protest, then I think the perfect example is what's been going on. Like, whether you agree or disagree, they don't seem to be causing any sort of concern in comparison to other protests that we've seen and how things can escalate. Look to Oregon, for example. But people are upset, and people are going to vocalize it whether there's a game going on or not. I just think that the world of football is usually used to uniting people when it comes to football, bringing them together.
Well, sports are supposed to. Yeah. It's supposed to give us a break. It's supposed to be something that we can rally behind, and as it's the same. Here's the effect. This was when I was taught a long time ago by some family members, and I always thought it was true. When you go to the movies, right? It's a moment for you to suspend your disbelief for what you're about to go in and see. And not like a documentary. I mean, like when you go to see like The Avengers, you can kind of just let your mind go for an hour and a half and just kind of escape that for a moment, and before you have to come back into reality. Now, it's not always okay to just find an outlet to not be in a realistic situation, to be in your own reality. However, sporting events can be a moment for unity. Yeah. They can be and they should be. With a tense moment like this between U.S. and Mexico on the pitch, I just need people to keep in mind that it is just a game, and it can be something that could show that we are not as divided as we think. Again, I just am being realistic. We have never been so much so. On top of everything else, I don't think it would have mattered where the game was being played overall. I think that there was going to be, unfortunately, some acts that are going to happen in the parking lot, at the gate, in the stadium. And I say that because even before this election thing happened, right? 10 years ago, fans are idiots.
Yes, very much so.
Just because they have something to argue about now doesn't mean they didn't have something to argue about 10 years ago. So, like, I know how fans work. I used to be an idiot fan, too. Don't be me. Be better than me.
And it's not the only major clashing of two rivalries that's happening this weekend with world football. We have England versus Scotland, which is, I think I want to really touch on it briefly. There's some added political fuel to this as well. FIFA have implied a ban on poppies. Poppies are pins that players want to wear on their shirt to show their support for troops that have served for the country or served for the cause that they believe in. So I don't agree. I don't agree that FIFA should be imposing on anything like this, especially someone as corrupt and as cloudy in what they uphold as to be the right thing as FIFA. I think it's the player's choice. If they want to show support for that, I think that's absolutely fine. If they don't, I don't think they should be condemned for it.
Fair enough.
Especially there's some players out there that are being condemned for not wanting to show their support for something that they don't believe in. If you look at examples of Irish players who have often not wanted to be involved with British troops because of what they believe and their thoughts. Republic of Ireland and some Northern Ireland. I'm not going to sit here and provide you a history lesson. You can go and look up the past and why there's a conflict there. So, but I don't think that it should be forced upon. I think that there's plenty to show support for. I think there's people out there that put their lives on the line for British citizens, including Scottish citizens as well. And I think they should be celebrated and they should be shown signs of support. But if you don't want to do that, I won't hold it against you either. I just don't think it's FIFA's place to be in and be showing them. And the PM of the United Kingdom, Theresa May, came out and said she's not happy with it. She's not happy with FIFA imposing that view onto the countries that are within her jurisdiction, should I say. So, but in football terms, there's actually football going on.
I was going to say, I mean, it should be, I'm hoping for a win. The U.S. needs to win their FIFA World Cup qualifiers. We want to win the World Cup. Mexico needs to win it too. Obviously, a lot on the line. Hunter S. Thompson said many a times throughout many of his books, it takes a lot more work to silence somebody than it does to let them speak. So keep that in mind. On top of everything else, U.S. Pulisic said his favorite player was Luis Figo. He said his father calls him Figo. As a nice little motivator, because he loves to watch. He said his style of play is what he tries to emulate. Figo
is so intelligent. Figo is like an Einstein on the park at times. He'd always make the right decision.
I'm down with Christian Figo Pulisic.
Pulisic needs to start. I talked about this on 120 Sports when they asked me what was my preview, and they were like, "Who's a player that's going to influence the game?" No, he needs to play.
He's our best player.
It's a completely different case than him for Dortmund. Dortmund have a lot of great players.
He's our best. I don't think it's even a debate when they go, "Oh, Michael Bradley's been there." No, this isn't an experience thing. Pound for pound, age for age, he's our best player because he's 18.
It's a great...
Let the kid run.
It's a great thing that Tim Howard's going to be in goal. I think he is a far superior leader than Guzan. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I do too. I think he has more command over the back four. I think Guzan's is a competent goalkeeper for the United States of America compared to past goalkeepers that I've seen.
Yeah.
Tim Howard, though, on the other hand, is a leader of that team, and veteran leadership is needed. So you need the mix. You have Tim Howard in goal, so you have probably the oldest guy in the team in back, and you have the youngest guy in the team up front.
Yes.
Let's get something done. Let's win. Let's get a 2-0 win.
And for the Scottish game, so much on the line. Jesus Christ, Lithuania sitting in second place in that group. We cannot fall short of another major tournament. I understand it when we're losing to Poland and Germany, but Lithuania? Lithuania! Spell it!
Lithuania. Lithuania. A-U. Fuck. Lithuania. No, that might be Lithuania.
He's going to search it. You're going to correct him already in the comments.
I missed an IA. I did it too quickly.
Lithuania.
Hold on. Lithuania. Country of origin? Could you use it in a, could you, I know, could you use it in a sentence?
Spell Lithuania. Just think of all the Anias in the world. Romania, Estonia.
The Anias.
Ania.
L-I-T-H, I know that's right.
U.
Oh, it's an U?
Lithuania. L-I-T-H-U. Lithuania.
Ania. A-N-I-A.
Got it.
Lithuania.
Hit us in the comments if you've spelt it before. Maybe we've both spelt it wrong. Who knows?
You've dealt it.
And we'll speak to you soon. Francis _Maxwell, Jason Rubin 91. Peace.